Good morning. Good morning. There we go. Wanted to get all the channels started live this morning. What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. I'm excited to start a new series this morning. For those of you who are joining for the first time, good morning. All of my love is on Instagram. Hello. I am so excited to be starting a new series today. We last year we did the color series. Okay, so we're gonna back up a little bit because all of this information is coming from my best-selling book, Secrets of a Well-Dressed Brand. You can get this on Amazon or wherever books are sold. And so once again, I would love for you to have the full experience. I do try to give you an experience when we do these series. And sometimes you read a book and you just want to ask the author some questions, at least I do, or you just, you don't dump all everything into a book, or maybe even when the book was written, there's like new thoughts and epiphanies as a writer that you have. And so I have been having a great time doing the series, and you guys have also told me that you're very much enjoying the series. So this month, we are talking about your unique style identity. And so, for those of you who already have the book and you already received the newsletter this morning, the way that you have the full experience is I would love for you to have the book. If you don't have the book, it's okay because we're going through everything. I'm going to do my best to tell you the important things. But if you are like me and you kind of like to take a deeper dive, or you want to know like what's underneath something, like, oh, I want to know more about that, then it is all in the book. The second way that you can have an immersive experience is to make sure that you are on my email list. So this morning, those of you who are on the email list, you got the introduction. Uh, Hold on, I don't know where the title page is, 'cause I may not have printed it out. Anyway, yes, here it is. So this morning in your inbox, you got, you can't see that, can you? You cannot. Okay. Well, anyway, you got the email list. You got the style identity, just introducing you to what we're going to be talking about today. So, welcome to the brand new series. Over the next 5 months, we're going to be talking about the different style identities, okay? And so what is that? So inside of my book, and when I work with my clients one-on-one, I give them a style test that I created. And what that style test does is it gives them their unique style identity. So it's a survey, um, in a sense, like a questionnaire, really, that you fill out. If you already have your book, I think that it is on page 162. And so, yeah, on page 162, it just says style quiz. And then you can go through that, and it gives you go through and you check A, you check B, you go all the way through the test. And then for those of you, and I'm saying this because it was a lot of you, 450 of you, in fact, just received my book for the first time, and you may still be going through it. And if you haven't finished it yet, it's a quick read. But if you haven't finished it yet, but you want to jump ahead to the style quiz, it's on page 162. You read the answer, you check every single A through F that applies to you, so that at the end you get a score. Once you get that score at the end of the style test, it will tell you that you are, and it goes through the very specific style identity. So it's going to tell you you are powerful. Your style is considered the powerful one. It's innovative. It's ladylike. It's timeless, or it's effortless. And then it gives you very detailed information on which one. I can't speak this morning. To which all of those, to what all of those means. There we go. That was the word I was looking for. And so that's very exciting, because I think a lot of times you don't realize why you are buying certain things. You don't know why you're attracted to the shirt with the big puffy sleeves, or why you hate asymmetrical hemlines or something like that. or why you like elegant classic colors compared to vivid bold colors. And so that is kind of why it's important for you to know what your style identity is. And so that's why we're doing this. And so today we are going to cover this month, excuse me. I'm doing the style. I'm doing this series a little bit different than I did in the color series. So that's why I'm stumbling over my words, because we did that color series was a year long. This series will be 5 months long. This month we're going to cover powerful. So if you scored powerful on the style identity test, this is for you. Yes, and the only way for you to get the test is that you want to take it in my book. If you have maybe received some of my free downloads in the past, you might have taken it through that, but that is it. Okay. I scored 7 in powerful and timeless. Yay. Thank you. Oh, and thank you for saying I look stunning. I appreciate it. Yeah. So powerful. So let's get into it. So one last thing about the test. So like, we were just saying, you know, she's like, I scored powerful and timeless. So what you want to do is once you add up your entire score at the end of the test, you want to try to end up with 2. Sometimes you might end up with 3. And so most people end up with 2. I scored on my test powerful. Oh, we're the same actually. Powerful and elegant, actually, not timeless. I was powerful and elegant on mine, and you're powerful and timeless. I love it. And so what that means is, let's get into that. So powerful, innovative, timeless, elegant, all those things we're going to be covering over the next few months. Oh, I said elegant. I think I might have changed that when I created the test. I think it was originally elegant. It might be timeless. Yeah, got it. Okay. Okay, so we went over the 5 identities of style. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I want to talk a little bit about why it's important for you to embody this element and what it is. So as we talk about powerful, think about drama. You like something that has a little bit of drama. So it could be in color, it could be in texture, it could be a dramatic hemline, it could be anything like that. And so when you're powerful and timeless, so am I. It just means that you're buying like some basic items sometimes, but you might want a little twist. So think about a classic white shirt, for example. You may get that and it may be off the shoulder, and it may be but you know, that buttons off the shoulder, it could be have like different textures. So one part could be cotton, the other part could be velvet. I'm making that up. But it may have some raised things or something like that. As we go into the style identity a little bit later, let's say it's ladylike. So my best friend scored, I think she is powerful and ladylike. Ladylike was definitely first. No, I think she was ladylike and effortless. But anyway, we were FaceTiming not too long ago, and she was showing me, she's like, I think I have a problem with these kind of rosettes. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she kept pulling these shirts out of her closet that had these raised like roses on them, this like floral. And that's very ladylike, which we'll get into that later. Because today we are talking about powerful. And so again, liking stuff that is powerful is the word that's on the test. When I talk about it this month, I'm going to use the word power, and with the understanding that we're talking about drama. We're talking about not your classic t-shirt that would be timeless. We're talking about a t-shirt that has maybe ruffles, or again, an asymmetrical hem, or that just has like mixed fabrications and things like that. It could be something classic like what I'm wearing today, a very classic kind of suit jacket with the matching shell, but the color is very powerful. So to embody the identity of power or powerful or drama. You're making very daring fashion choices. Think of like the Met Gala. So that would be some of those things are innovative in silhouettes, but they're powerful in color. But I think that when we're talking about the Met Gala, we have those things, those two things being true at the same time, right? So that's what we're talking about. Vibrant colors, defining textures, rich fabrics. It's this kind of unapologetic confidence that comes when you score power on a on the test. A dramatic sleeve. All of these things are about making dramatic statements. So that's what we are talking about today. When you're dressed in the alignment with your power identity, you're looking the part, but you feel the part too. And that's for all of them. But what you really want to do is the manifestation of strength and power to conquer. And so that's really what it does. And that impacts your brand in a very succinct way, or a very impactful way, I should say, a very powerful way is the word that we're looking for. So that's what it is. And so if you scored power, then again, you want to make sure that you pay attention to the second part of how you're scoring on the test. Okay. So I'm trying to think. So, okay. Oh, I've never had anybody score this way, but let's talk about it. So let's say if you do power and innovation, right? So people who score innovation will, I think we're going to cover innovation next month, and that's just kind of very unique, lots and lots of color. Think of creative dressers, like really creative. Think about oh, I can't think of her name right now. It'll come back to me. But Caroline, what's her name? Somebody give it to me. Who is the head of Essence right now? I can't. Her last name's escaping me. I'm so sorry. Or Tabitha Brown, right? It's easy to kind of think of that as power, but it's not. Caroline would be more power and innovative. She'd be the perfect example of that because it's very dramatic and vivid in color. There's the two things going on. It's at like a more couture level. And not that couture is that dramatic. It's not always. Couture is really more about being beautifully handcrafted. But anyway, let's slow our rolls. I'm getting excited. Can you tell? All right. Shout out to Meg Delarange. For those of you who got your power identity email today to kick off the season, did you love the animation of this runway, gorgeous chocolate runway lady, model extraordinaire? I told myself it was me. That was such a good experience. And again, get on the mailing list. Head on over to toysweetie.com to make sure that you are on the mailing list so that you can get the email too. And again, pick up the book so that you can follow along with the series, because I just want you to get the full experience. Okay. So by now, if you've picked up my book, if you've seen me speak, if you are part of the Well Dressed Brand family, you know that what we're talking about right now in Secrets of the Well Dressed Brand is I'm giving you all the secrets, but I'm taking a deeper dive into last year we did the color series, and now into your unique style identity. Why? Because your personal brand and your brand in general is so much more than your logo, right? Much more than your tagline. It's what you stand for. Right? It's using your wardrobe as a career strategy, as a business strategy. And I was thinking about this morning, and I was like, this is not something that I'm just talking about. This is something that I've been able to do over and over and over and over again in my career. Instagram, y'all are on fire this morning. Hello. I love it. And keep the comments coming. I love it. Thank you so much. Age of Grace. Thank you. Yeah. So anyway, so that was that. So that's why we're doing this, because I really want you to understand that, your wardrobe really is a business strategy and a career strategy. Why? Because when it comes down to branding, think about the commercials that you love. I mean, we're just coming off of the Super Bowl, and we laughed at some of those commercials. We were moved, we were motivated, we were inspired. It's all about that emotional connection. So think about if you've ever had the privilege and the been able to watch a runway show, not necessarily excuse me, a professional one, but just going to even my mom used to put me in these kids runway shows when I was little. I was a cute kid. I was. Anyway, she'd put me in these runway shows. When I love to see the kids runway shows, they're my favorite. And what happens, right? When we're watching the Valentino, when we're watching Christian Dior, when we're watching Chanel, whatever, pick your favorite designer. When you're watching the Carolina Herrera's, right? And that first model that hits the runway, and if you know anything about that realm of fashion, you want to put your best look first and last. And so think about this from your perspective. You are entering that room, that emotional hits. It's the same thing. It tugs at your heart when you walk in or you see someone else walk in and you're like, ooh, it kind of hits you in your shanana, right? When you're scrolling on Instagram and you're scrolling on LinkedIn or Facebook and someone's like, look at my outfit of the day, right? And you get to that final reveal and you're like, yes, like that is it. It's an emotional connection. And so that is one of the reasons that we do that, because you want to build trust and authority. And so when it comes down to powerful, as a style identity, what color do you think comes to mind? Now, we talked about this at length last year. So for those of you who are part of the Well-Dressed family, I am expecting to see answers. This is your quiz. Just kidding. It's red. Red is the color that holds the weight of power. It holds the weight of powerful. But it's really like power and authority, right? So if you are someone who doesn't like to be seen, then this is not a good job, red. And so this is not, I doubt if you would score powerful on the test. If that is not true, let me know, because I've not really had that happen before, but anything's possible. So I have personally never had someone score on the test. If you're a little bit of a wallflower, you don't typically score power because, again, it's vivid in colors and textures and all the things. So there's that. And so that's what we're talking about. And then the other color would be black. And so again, when you're talking about, you know, I like to use myself as an example, not to talk about myself, but I just, sometimes I'm like, okay, I have so much client stuff in my head and I want to make sure that I'm not talking about something or someone that's not comfortable with me doing so. So it's not for the sake of tooting my own horn. But when you look at the Well-Dressed brand, my brand colors are red, black, and white. Those are not, those are very popular brand colors. I could think of at least 10, 15 different brands and personal brands who have the same brand colors, but the way that we display them and convey them are really different. What you broadcast out into the world is what gets received. So there could be someone who has those same brand colors and they choose to do it with yellow or bright pink or azure cobalt blue or something like that. It doesn't matter. It's about the emotion and the drama of it all. So I'm sure that you get that and you understand that. So that's really all about the power and the identity around power dressing. So in closing, and I'll go into this a little bit deeper with some Instagram posts later, but I wanted to go through all of that so that I can explain what we're doing over the next 5 months. Now, for those of you who are praying folks, my plan at the end of this series is I cannot wait for you guys to see it, to reveal to you the cover of my new book that's coming out. And I'll be hopefully ending the series by talking about that and what that's going to be all about, because that means that it is off to the editors and we have finished writing it and that I can start talking about the new conversation. So I want to make sure that you get what we're talking about now, because the secrets of the Well-Dressed brand this is the seed, okay? This is the seed for the journey that we're going to be on over the next while. So this is your seed right here. So this is planting the seeds. This is the basis of like everything that I've learned in the last couple of decades in the fashion industry, working with high performers, mostly television personalities, and working for various companies from White House Black Market to Crabtree and Evelyn to Ralph Lauren to running a $15 million in New York City and Bloomingdale's, to the world's largest home shopping network, QVC, HSN, all under Curate is what they are now. And there's just a lot of I pulled the nuts and bolts out of that experience and dumped it all into the book, and left no stone unturned. And so that's why I'm calling it Secrets. And so those were some things that I learned during that time, and were able to kind of pass along to you, and to give you some keys to be able to move forward. So this is the seed. The second book is going to be, we're growing it. We're going to be watering. It's going to be your water. So we're going to take the seed, and then we're going to start watering it to help you to really grow. And then the third book after that will be taking the plant and just raising it up so far that you're going to feel that you probably have arrived. Because we're all learning. We never quite arrive, right? So anyway, so that's what it is. So that's why I'm going through this as like, hey, I want you guys to get these principles and get the book, get on the email list. Let's continue to go through this, because you already know the importance of your color. We talked about that at length last year for a whole year. And now for the next 5 months, we're going to talk about your style identity. All right. You got it? Do you get it? Okay, great. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I hope that you understand, if you have scored as powerful on the style test, you understand what that is really about. So I'll be doing some additional posts. If you're not following me on Instagram, the book is packed with all the best industry insiders thank you. Thank you so much, Meggers. You always coming through in the clutch. Yes, that's the plan. That's what we wanted to accomplish with the book. And so shout out to Meg again for such a beautiful book and cover. We love it. All right, really fast. So how much time do we have? All right, 3 more minutes, and I'm going to cover really fast. I'm going to probably do a little post series this week, or next week, I guess, about power dressing. We're going to talk a little bit about it this morning. So power dressing, did you know that it started in the 1970s? So one of the things that I wanted to say, I neglected to say, was, so sorry, I just I just got distracted. I looked up at my light live. Sorry about the live and my ADHD. I looked up at one of my studio lights. I wish that I could take my phone and show you, but my phone is live on Instagram right now. And there is a huge dead wasp that, got caught in my light. How did he get in there? Anyway, so one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we understand about powerful, if you scored powerful before I let you go, is that, so again, powerful is how you will score on the test. You got it? But this month we're going to be talking about power in general. So today, this week, we cover powerful and understanding the series so that you can understand how to unpack it. And then next week, we're going to talk about a different part of it, but the remainder of the month will be all about just the word itself and different elements of that. Reinventing yourself, standing in your power. All of it's going to relate to your style and how you're using your wardrobe as a career and business strategy. Because listen, I want to see you win. That is the whole purpose of the books. That is the whole purpose of the Well Dressed Brand TV show, is to change the way that you think about getting dressed. It's more impactful than you know. So I wanted to make sure that I said that. Back to power dressing. 1970s is when it was born. 1980s is when it was developed. The original power suit, though, was in 1920s with Chanel. And that suit, as we've seen everywhere, it was what? The pencil skirt and the collarless jacket. I mean, we're still having a collarless jacket moment right now. Those bomber jackets that were so popular, they were trending for like 3 years, and some people are still wearing them, and that's okay. But yes, excuse me. I love your stories and the history. Oh, thank you. But yes, and those collarless jackets, And the power suit was really, or power dressing, not specifically the power suit. That's a whole different kind of history lesson. And we'll get into that this month too. There's so much to unpack. I'm so excited. But power dressing regarding the Chanel suit was really about, and I can't wait to talk about this study that I found with standing in your power. But the Chanel suit was really about adding these masculine, things like that tweed, right? These things that were typically seen as masculine to the way that you dress, because the purpose was for women to, for lack of a better word, this is not the right word, but it was scale back, or the way that I read it was to de-sex, which that's a silly word, but it was kind of to play down their feminism and their sexiness by adding these male components, like masculine components rather, to clothing. And so to the women's clothing. And the purpose of that was to give it an authority, because at that time it was like, I've seen, remember years ago, Vogue used to do these articles like borrow from the boys. I've always done that. I'm having a moment right now with ties and pulling some things from men's that would be typically considered menswear that I love. I have an authority, or a menswear, if you will, component to my look as well. Anybody who has their hair cut like me or similar to me has the same component. Sorry, Instagram, somebody is calling me. And so, did it come back? Okay, there we go. It came back. So yeah, so adding those masculine, we're still doing that today, right? Adding those kind of things that were seen as very masculine back in the day to a women's style, right? And so that was kind of what it was. Those were their old rules and the originators. Today, you do what you want. You do what you feel. You break the rules. It's all about rebellion and doing the thing that's going to make you feel like your best self, right? So that is the world that we live in, that we get to decide. We make the rules. We get to carve out our own indelible mark and stand in our power in that way. So I just thought that was kind of interesting that, it was the 1920s Chanel suit was about adding those kind of masculine, if you will, things to, and I have a masculine wink to my style. I like it. Listen, this hair, look at this part. This haircut is giving. I go right to the barbershop, saves a lot of money so that we can spend our money on other things. They're more important than hair, right? I keep hearing India Irie. I am not my hair. I am not this skin. I am the soul that lives within. Stand in your power. All right. That will conclude our series or kickoff for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Yes, the power suiting, Erica, you are right. The power suiting is so hot right now. It has been, though, for quite some time. This did not just start. It has been. So trends typically last for 3 to 5 years. But it can go on a little bit longer. But so I think that over the last couple of years, this power suits and the power dressing is back. And that was one of the main reasons that I wanted to kick off the series with power, because I think that there is so much to unpack with that and what we've been seeing, and the red that's everywhere. Brianna with the Super Bowl last year, and then all over the red carpets, everything red, power, loving it. So yes, so that's why I thought it was important to kick off the series. And also it's the way that I typically dress. There's always a very elegant elegant, but there's always a very power and authoritative nod to the way that I get dressed as well. And I do tend to borrow a lot of things from menswear too, because I like it. I like to kind of mix things up. I like my dramatic hemlines. I like to have those little elements. I typically am in my brand colors. I'm typically if I'm running errands, I'm in all black, which is the color of authority. Red lip, red nails, red pedicure, always. That does not change with my personal brand on most days. So yes. All right. You guys have a fantastic weekend. We are preparing for the lunar eclipse, the eclipse on Monday. here. I will see you next Friday. And so that we can talk about reimagining, reinventing all the things around power. All right. Have a great, I'm going to end here first. Have a good day, you guys.